Hello and welcome to News 20 at 5. I'm Brea Hollingsworth.
And I'm Giselle Thomas. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully everyone is having a great beginning of the work week. The American Civil Liberties Union filed a federal lawsuit to change the bail system in Leon County. The ACLU argues the bail system is unconstitutional because people who are innocent must remain in jail if they cannot afford bail. The ACLU filed a suit on behalf of a Tallahassee woman who was held for 16 months before facing trial. The local woman emphasized how her $250,000 bail was unreasonable due to her $9 an hour income before being arrested. The ACLU argues individuals who cannot make bail before trial, depending on how long they are kept, may also risk losing their jobs, homes, and their children.
The unthinkable happened to a family and their shop. A car crashed into the front of their nail salon, causing a lot of damage. The crash happened around 12 p.m. on Tuesday. The car was T-boned and instead of pressing on the brakes, hit the accelerator, sending a parked car into the nail shop. The family business will now have difficulty bringing in income after their shop was destroyed. One driver was sent to the hospital with minor injuries and has since been released. And the Florida legislature just ended its fall session, and it is already addressing a new budget after two major hurricanes impacted Florida severely. We found out just what the state's plans are. Let's take a look. Deontay Paletta could recall the time Hurricane Maria devastated his family's home on the island of Dominica.
My great-great-grandmother, she's okay. Her house is severely damaged.
The Florida legislature ended committee meetings last week on the new budget. And a reoccurring topic, natural disasters. FEMA is expected to reimburse the state over $500 million in damages.
We also supported a lot of relief operations, as well as folks that were evacuating their aircraft from the path of the storm. Initially came here and then eventually pushed a little bit further to the west when it was realized that Tallahassee would be in their path as well. Another topic, how Florida's tourism economy may be affected, which took a major plummet after Hurricane Irma. The storms did have an impact on travel here in Tallahassee. We had some commercial flight delays and cancellations, particularly when the storm was very close to affecting our area. Some Florida universities are even pitching in to help students during this time of need. One of those schools is Florida State. It plans to provide scholarships that would cover out-of-state tuition fees to those from countries or U.S. territories affected by Irma. FSU currently has 4 enrolled students that would qualify for the scholarship, and the Office of Admissions says they do not plan to extend their November application deadline. However, they will work with students from Puerto Rico and other Caribbean islands on a case-by-case basis. A major issue mentioned was what to do about evacuees entering the country who will most likely travel by plane. The topic will most likely be discussed again in the upcoming 2018 session. The hardest county hit during Hurricane Irma was Monroe County. It had the largest number of claims per capita.
Changes are being made in Frenchtown, and the community is stepping in. Our Carla Bailey has the latest. Hi, Cara.
Hi, Giselle. Volunteers and city officials gathered in the city of Frenchtown to do a walkthrough of the neighborhood. It was organized to identify areas for improvement, such as crime prevention and beautification, and participants took note of various aspects of the community, such as areas where there was trash dumping or potholes. And Police Chief Michael DeLeo talked about how this walkthrough is a step forward for raising the quality of life for residents.
Part of today, the really main focus is to what's important to the neighborhood. What are they trying to identify? What are the issues that they want? So this is more than just a crime issue, it's also quality of life issues. Are there abandoned houses? Are there people doing illegal dumping of trash in different areas that we can help address? Because
that's all we have for Frenchtown. Live in the Multimedia Newsroom, I'm Cara Bailey. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Cara. In crime news today, Stanley Jevons was found guilty of killing 3 college students. About 2 years ago, Stanley was driving west on Pensacola Street at 100 miles per hour, colliding with Nicholas Bonilla, Kevin Boss, and Vincino Libio. According to court records, Jevons had a blood alcohol level of .237 at the time of the crash. Investigators believe his high speed caused the crash. He is charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide, failing to render aid, 3 counts of manslaughter by driving under the influence, and 1 count of leaving the scene of a crash involving death.
FAMU's athletic director Milton Overton Jr. is planning for a new all-sports facility budgeted for $9 million. The three-story facility will house the locker room for the FAMU football team, classrooms, a weight room, and a bar and kitchen for premium seat holders. The facility will add 2,000 new seats as well as an indoor club advantages. A group of FAMU athletics enthusiasts said the facility is a must-have for the future of FAMU athletics. FAMU's Board of Trustees is expected to vote on funds for the facility in November.
The Florida Constitution Revision Committee holds public hearings every 20 years, and our very own Angelicia Bruton has more on how this can affect Florida's capital.
Tallahassee was chosen to be Florida's state capital due to its central location between St. Augustine and Pensacola, which were the largest cities in Florida at the time. But since then, Florida has expanded, and residents are looking to move the capital. Florida Constitution Revision Committee received several proposals from citizens to move the capital to a central location like Orlando.
Give it to the voters, you don't know which way they're going to go.
Leon County Commissioner Bill Proctor wrote a letter to Mayor Gillum and Commission Chairman John Daly voicing his concerns.
The most violent community in the state of Florida for 3 years in a row. And next year, it went on the ballot in November. The likelihood of it passing would be good.
To combat Tallahassee's high crime rate, Commissioner Proctor says the city should be placed under a state of emergency.
That would open the opportunity for more state resources to directly be applied to this urban core, the central part of Tallahassee, where a lot of these violent things occurred. 9
hearings took place across the state of Florida with over 1,400 proposals. But Carol Wessert says the average number to see on a ballot is no more than 10.
They're going to have to make decisions. They're going to have to make some hard decisions, and I don't think it's not like they're going to put 25 things on the ballot. They won't do that.
Although Commissioner Proctor believes the odds are against Tallahassee if this proposal makes it to the 2018 ballot, he says the city still deserves to be the capital.
Well, absolutely. Tallahassee has served very well and has experience. It's seasoned.
The last day for the commission to submit proposals is tomorrow. In Tallahassee, Angelicia Bruton, News 20.
The commission is now reviewing the proposals to be submitted in the 2018 ballot.
The Tallahassee Police Department Special Investigation Unit scored yet another drug bust. Police say Antonio Harris and Jalesia Barrett were arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance without prescription. Documents show the two were charged with possession of more than 20 grams of cannabis, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Judge J. Lane Smith signed off on the search warrant. Upon entering the house, officers found evidence that illegal drug sales were made, along with nearly 100 grams of cannabis and 10 grams of Molly.
Coming up, we have more information on the Vegas shooting. Please stay with us.
Plus, Puerto Rico was still without power after Hurricane Maria made landfall over a month ago. Find out how the territory plans to restore power. Stay tuned. You're watching News 20 at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Giselle Thomas.
And I'm Brea Hollingsworth. We'll be moving into some international news involving Russia and the United States.
2 former Trump campaign officials surrendered themselves to federal authorities this morning. In the first arrest made in special counsel Robert Mueller's probe, Karen Kafa has the latest from Washington.
Mr. Manafort. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort this morning surrendering at the FBI field office in Washington. He and former campaign deputy Rick Gates, the first charged in connection with the ongoing investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller, launched in May. Questions of collusion between Trump campaign officials and Russia during the 2016 election have clouded the first year of the Trump presidency. But Mueller's probe has cast a wider net and scrutinized financial and real estate dealings by Trump associates, including Manafort's work for the former president of Ukraine. These initial charges do not cover any activities related to the 2016 campaign, but it's possible additional charges could come later. The indictment against Manafort and Gates contains 12 counts, including conspiracy against the United States, conspiracy to launder money, unregistered agent of a foreign principal, false and misleading U.S. Foreign Agents Registration Act statements, false statements, and 7 counts of failure to file reports of foreign bank and financial accounts. Additionally, newly unsealed records today show that George Papadopoulos, a former foreign policy advisor to the Trump campaign, has pleaded guilty for making false statements to the FBI. A source close to the White House said the charges against Manafort and Gates have nothing to do with the president and nothing to do with any relationship to Russia. The president, responding via Twitter, quote, "There is no collusion." In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
It's been more than a month since Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, and most of the island has been without power since then. A company that was hired to remedy the situation will be replaced. Puerto Rico is canceling its deal with Whitefish Energy. Whitefish was awarded a $300 million deal to restore power to parts of Puerto Rico. The 2-year-old Montana-based company only had a few full-time employees prior to Maria. Many Puerto Ricans are desperate, having spent more than a month in the dark. Those on the ground say restoring power on an island is more difficult than on a landlocked area. FEMA says Puerto Rico's recovery process might take years.
Good evening, I'm Angelique Beckford with your entertainment news. A 10-year-old boy led Ohio State Highway Patrol on an hour-long car chase. The pursuit started in Cleveland and spanned 3 counties. Authorities were called after the boy allegedly stole his mother's boyfriend's car. Police say the stolen vehicle topped nearly 100 miles per hour. Troopers deployed stop sticks, forcing the boy to veer off the road. They caught up to the boy and surrounded him, ending the chase. No one was injured and the boy was taken into custody. Tiger Woods pleaded guilty to reckless driving Friday afternoon in court in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. The plea is part of a program that will likely keep him from serving prison time. In August, the golfer entered into an DUI first offender program. Under the program, the state troops the DUI charge, and the defendant pleads guilty to the lesser charge of the reckless driving. There is no jail time in the plea deal unless Woods violates probation in a major way. Demi Lovato announced a spring tour with DJ Khaled. The duo will hit some well-known cities in the Sunshine State, including Tampa and Miami. DJ Khaled is known for his updates via Snapchat. He's known for working with artists such as Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Drake. Lovato's claim to fame started with her Disney Channel show called Sunny with a Chance. I'm Angelique Beckford. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Sade Kelly here with your weather update. Let's take a look at some of today's temperatures. Off on this Monday, we're at 68 degrees. Our humidity is at 26%. Our winds are moving northwest at 8 miles per hour, and there is 0% chance of rain. Moving into tonight, we have clear skies with 51 degrees. Our winds are moving at 7 miles per hour. Our humidity is going to be at 12%, and our sunset will be at 6:50 p.m. Let's have a look at our area temperatures. Starting off with Albany, it's going to be a high of 78 and a low of 47. Bainbridge is at a high of 78 and a low of 49. Both Crawfordville and Marianna are at a high of 77 and a low of 48. Moultrie is at a high of 76 and a low of 49. Thomasville, a high of 77 and a low of 49. And Quincy at a high of 77 and a low of 48. Now for a look at our 5-day forecast. For tomorrow, it's going to be Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 77 degrees and a low of 48 degrees. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 78 degrees and a low of 55 degrees. Going into the middle of the week with Thursday, it's going to be at a high of 81 degrees and a low of 57 degrees. On Friday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 82 degrees and a low of 59 degrees. And on Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 83 degrees and a low of 59 degrees. That is all I have for your weather updates for now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Jessica Ward with your sports. Florida State lost their game against Boston College on Friday. The score, 3-35. Florida State is 2-5, and the team's 35-year bowl streak is in jeopardy. The Noles must win its final 4 games versus Syracuse, Clemson, Delaware State, and Florida to be guaranteed a bowl berth. The last time the Seminoles missed a bowl game was 1981, and the last time they finished with a losing record was Bobby Bowden's first season in 1976. The Noles take on Syracuse on Saturday in Doak Campbell Stadium. FAMU beat Morgan State 34-31 on Saturday. First win in 4 games. FAMU will go into their game against Howard this weekend, a 3-6 team.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. For Sade and Jessica, I'm Brea Hollingsworth.
And I'm Giselle Thomas. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.